Alright. Hey guys, what's up? It's Kyle here. Doing my Wrestlemania 28 review. I saw the pay-per-view the other day, but I'm going to get my full review today, way before Raw comes on later tonight. So let's just get right into it. Wrestlemania in Miami, Florida. Stage presence-wise, looked awesome, amazing. The way it was set up, it kind of looked a lot like WrestleMania 19, the way the stadium and the props and stuff were set up. But the first match we get into was Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight title. Sheamus wins. He's the new World Heavyweight champion. That's it. I mean, literally. Really. As soon as the match started, Daniel Bryan kisses AJ, turns around, gets the boot from Sheamus. Sheamus pins and wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus now set a WrestleMania record in winning a World Championship within 18 seconds. I didn't have too much of a problem with this being the first match. If it was the Punk and Jericho match, I would have a problem with that being the first match to open up Mania. I didn't have too much of a problem with this one being the opening match. But I mean, really, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, I think, could have had one of the best matches on the card if given some time. I mean, they literally just brushed these guys off to the side with an 18-second world title match. And on top of it, it was a world championship match. I mean, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, these guys cannot seem to cut a break when it comes to WrestleMania. Last year, they were supposed to have a match for the U.S. title, but that match ended up being cut from the Mania card. I think it might even been a dark match, but either way, it got cut from last year's WrestleMania card. This year, they get a better spot, for WrestleMania in a higher profile match, and it lasts 18 seconds. I mean, really, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan they can't cut a break at WrestleMania. I don't know what the guys in the back and higher ups were thinking. I mean, it's a 4-hour program. They could have given them at least 10 to 12 minutes. If they would have given it 10 to 12 minutes and Sheamus still won, I still would have been fine with that. But I just really think it's a waste of both those guys' natural talent. But anyway, I'm still glad Sheamus is the new world champion. And really, that's my only complaint I have going into the rest of WrestleMania is how that match was so short. But after that, we get to the match with Kane and Randy Orton. I thought this was a decent match. This wasn't a bad match. Like I said, it wasn't going to be, like I said in my WrestleMania preview, I knew it wasn't going to be the best match on the card, but in my opinion, I don't think it was the worst. But shockingly and surprisingly, though, Kane ended up beating Randy Orton and getting his WrestleMania moment. I can't remember Kane ever winning any type of big marquee match at WrestleMania, but he beat Randy Orton. And I just kind of feel bad for Randy Orton because the guy's been stuck in limbo for so long. And I'll make a separate video on that sometime later during the week. But Kane, surprisingly, got a victory. The next match was Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship, going up against the Big Show. Cody wasn't doing bad, considering he had a huge disadvantage height-wise. He wasn't doing a bad job. The okay match, as I expected. Big Show is the new Intercontinental Champion. So I don't know where they're going to go with this, with Cody Rhodes. Maybe Rhodes will win it back at Extreme Rules next month, or in a few weeks. So I don't know how this is going to all turn out and play. But Big Show, new Intercontinental Champion. The next match we got was the Divas tag match. Everyone looked gorgeous except Beth, because Beth looks like a dude to me. But Eve just, wow. But Marina Menounos and Kelly Kelly ended up getting the victory. Next match after that was the Hell in a Cell, Triple H and Undertaker match. Really good match. I don't know if I would compare. I don't know if I would say last year's was better, or I don't know if I would say this year was better. I really can't say. I kind of want to say this one maybe is a little bit better than last year. Maybe not match quality wise, and it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. I think it was one of the best matches on the pay-per-view. But I just think, I don't know, maybe all the shenanigans that kind of just pretty much happened throughout the match, I think made it that much more unpredictable. Of Undertaker losing his streak, but at the end, Undertaker 20-0 WrestleMania. He beat Triple H, with like I said, with some shenanigans, but he prevailed 20-0, and it was pretty sad seeing him and Shawn Michaels and Triple H walk off together and kind of do a tribute because it is the end of the era. And I think WWE did a fantastic job of having Jim Ross to call that match. It just made it that much more special and significant. The next match we got after that, which I was surprised that they put over on the Undertaker Triple H match, and that was CM Punk and Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship. This match was good. I thought this match should have gotten just at least a little bit more time than what it got. I don't know how many minutes it got, maybe 20 minutes I think it got. Someone can correct me on that if not. But I think they got about 20 minutes. They got a good ample amount of time, but I just kind of wish they had a little bit more time on the clock, because the match was just getting just so good with him and Jericho just doing reversal upon reversal and all this other stuff. But my favorite current wrestler in this generation ended up getting the victory over the veteran, Chris Jericho, still WWE Champion, CM Punk. Now, heading to the next pay-per-view, I predict Jericho's going to win, absolutely. But CM Punk ended up getting the victory on this match. Next segment we got was Brodus Clay. He didn't have a match, but just a segment or whatever, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, tremendous. It was funny as hell with all the mamas. This was a really good segment. One match I did forget, the Johnny Laurinaitis and Johnny Ace tag team match. Johnny Ace and his team ended up winning. Yes, that's what I wanted. And Eve, all due to Eve pretty much screwing over Zack Ryder. And, I've loved Eve since she came in WWE in 2008. But I can say since Eve has turned heel, I'm going to have to replace Kelly and make Eve my #1 heel. Eve is already hot, but just to see her play and act out as a bad diva who breaks men's heart, my God, it makes her even more desirable. Like not JR, but King Lawler always says, more curves on it than a racetrack. I mean, God, Eve is now my #1 current favorite diva. She surpassed Kelly. My God, Eve is just, that's a woman. That's all I have to say about that. Eve is a woman. Then you get on to the main event between John Cena and The Rock. That crowd ate up The Rock, booed Cena out that building. I mean, it was awesome. The nostalgia, you could feel the electricity during that match. Even before they even touched, you could just feel it just leading up and building up to that. But The Rock ended up getting the victory. Cena mocking The Rock pretty much, and was about to do the people's elbow, and Rock ended up shooting up and doing giving the Rock bottom. Awesome ending to what I thought was great WrestleMania. Only complaint I had was the Sheamus match. I thought was just too short. I think they really could have spent some time with that and not really kicked him to the curb. That's probably my only complaint I have. But everything else, from Undertaker keeping the streak intact, Punk winning, John Laurinaitis winning, and The Rock winning. This was absolutely a good WrestleMania. Best WrestleMania I haven't seen in the last 4 or 5 years, literally. And it's not just because the people who I wanted to win won, but just the way it was booked and just everything went, no shenanigans or anything. This was a really good WrestleMania. And then the Rock and Cena match was absolutely phenomenal. Back and forth. And it wasn't one-sided where John Cena was just dominating like he always does in most of his matches. This was a really good match. And what can I say? Got to give it to The Rock. The Rock has beaten not 1, not 2, but 3 of the top wrestlers in their generation. He's beaten Hogan, who was one of the biggest wrestlers in the 90s. He's beaten Austin, who was one of the biggest wrestlers Hogan, who was one of the biggest wrestlers in the 80s. Austin, who was the biggest wrestler in the 90s. And now John Cena, who is the biggest wrestler in the 21st century, in the 2000s. So Rock has beaten 3 of the top faces in the WWE from their respective decades at WrestleMania. That's absolutely tremendous. Props to The Rock. Still got it. Proves to all those haters. So let me know what you guys thought about WrestleMania. I loved it. It's definitely a must-buy for me this year. Let me know what you guys think about WrestleMania and some of the matches. What you liked and didn't like in the comments below. This is Kyle 965. Peace.